Huawei, the Chinese tech giant, has been given the green light by the UK government to have a limited role in the country's 5G telecommunications network. The controversial decision will anger the US, which has lobbied hard against the move, believing it to be a serious security risk. Tomorrow, Mike Pompeo, the US Secretary of State, arrives in London for talks. One Whitehall insider stressed the government was clear-eyed about the challenge posed by Huawei but insisted a market failure meant there was no real alternative provider to Huawei in the foreseeable future. Dominic Raab, the Foreign Secretary, will give a common statement this afternoon when he is expected to feel the wrath of conservative colleagues, who have warned about the security implications of allowing the Chinese tech giant, which has close ties to the Beijing government, involvement in Britain's next-generation telecoms system. On Monday, Tory backbencher Tom Tugendhat raised fears about allowing a fox into the henhouse when we should be guarding the wire. Following a meeting of the National Security Council, the government said so-called high-risk vendors should be allowed to play a peripheral role in the UK's 5G network. Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister, agreed that guidance should be issued by the National Cybersecurity Centre (NCSC), stating that high-risk vendors should be excluded from all safety-related and safety-critical networks in critical national infrastructure. Security-critical core functions, the sensitive part of the network. Sensitive geographic locations, such as nuclear sites and military bases, and be limited to a minority presence of no more than 35% in the periphery of the network, known as the access network, which connects devices and equipment to mobile phone masts. Making the announcement in a written statement, Baroness Morgan, the Digital Secretary, said, "We want world-class connectivity as soon as possible, but this must not be at the expense of our national security. High-risk vendors never have been and never will be in our most sensitive networks." The government has reviewed the supply chain for telecoms networks and concluded today it is necessary to have tight restrictions on the presence of high-risk vendors. She explained this was a UK-specific solution for UK-specific reasons and the decision dealt with the challenges the country faced right now. It not only paves the way for secure and resilient networks with our sovereignty over data protected, but it also builds on our strategy to develop a diversity of suppliers. We can now move forward and seize the huge opportunities of 21st century technology, added the minister. Kieran Martin, the NCSC's chief executive, stressed the decision would ensure that the UK had a very strong, practical and technical. For more on this story, visit the news article link.